Hi folks, welcome to another beautiful day in the Hudson Valley. So yeah, still haven't done the clock thing. So it's about, what is that, 2:45. Today is the 28th, Monday, and this is 16.2 degrees. This has been opened for a little while, so that's probably pretty accurate. This is, my batteries are all peaked up because it's a nice beautiful day. That one says 65. So there we are. So yesterday I went to York, Pennsylvania. I don't know what little town the house my son's looking at is in, but it's near York, Pennsylvania. And it's an older house, an old farmhouse. Not too big. Upstairs, 4 small bedrooms. An attic with actually a staircase that goes up into it that you can walk around without smashing your head into anything. It's on a stone foundation, but the stones were masonried together. It has, I don't know if it's vinyl siding or aluminum siding on it that's been painted. It's got a new roof. I don't know if it had a cedar shake roof or a slate roof, but that roof is off, and they actually reinforced the roof rafters with standard dimensional lumber, I think they were 2x8s, they might have been 2x10s, I don't recall right offhand. And they put down standard plywood, real plywood, not flake. Not that I have anything against flake, but if I can get plywood in anything that I own or assist somebody in owning, I like that. So, and the guy, it was a dirt basement. He poured a cement basement. The basement's not very tall. You can walk around down there, but sometimes when you got to walk under things, you got to duck a little bit. And at my 5'7", 5'8", whatever the heck I am these days, that means the ceiling isn't very high if I have to duck. For some of you tall people, Musty One, you strike me as if you're tall, you would end up with damaging your forehead there. It's got 2 outbuildings. 3 outbuildings. One of them is a small little structure that water bubbles up from a stream and kind of runs through this path and out to the drainage ditch in front of the house. So that's the first structure. And then something, it's a 2-story building with a huge wood stove in, kind of a wood stove cast iron thing that looks like you were able to put 2 big pots in. I'm not sure what that's about. And then there's a 2-car garage. All 3 of the outbuildings do not have a very good foundation situation. They kind of messed with the garage a little bit and improved it somewhat, but the other 2, the spring house, if you jumped on the roof, you could probably bring it down. And the other place, not that it's ready to fall down, but they basically, it looks like they stacked up stones and kind of put a building on it, and then at some point poured cement, like one mix at a time, mixed by hand at a time. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. So that's the house. It's on 3.5 acres. They're asking $217,500. And anyway, we're looking at it. We're trying to figure out what to do with it. So obviously he's going to need some assistance from dear old Dad. The postman, folks, the postman. I didn't hear anything smash into the ground, so. By the way, I rarely take my truck when I'm running around town, and there's a reason why. Especially on Mondays, you got to be careful, because sometimes you run across garage sale pickings. So I found the chair. And the interesting thing about this chair is it's exactly the same chairs as I already have in my kitchen, except it's not, the chair I have in my kitchen is not green back here. But other than that, it's exactly my kitchen chair. Pretty cool, huh? That, when we bought those for the kitchen, they were like $75 each or something like that. 50, 40, 75, I don't know. They were a lot of money. So, found a couple of lights. Probably out of a bathroom. So there's two of these. You can see the second one right there. Found a, this is an electric barbecue. Once again, all free. Picked up a front tire for our kid's bicycle. Never know. Maybe one day I'll build a project with it. Picked up a little aluminum box. These are aluminum. So, for the aluminum pile. I got a tool tote. Seems that I'm always finding them. I don't know what the hell this is, but it seemed like there was a lot of stuff in here, so I picked it up. Figure I can always use the hoses. I don't know. It was free, right? All free. Then there was this. This looks like it's for a dog or something, pet safe. I don't know if it works. Came with a collar. Actually, two collars. So, it was free, right? Gotta pick it up, it's free. More aluminum pans. I don't know, a rack for something. It's metal. I got this tripod. Camera tripod. Once again, it was free. Medicine chest. Not a great medicine chest. But once again, it was free. Figure I'll offer it to my son. And then I got this, for fireplace. You know, the tending material for the fireplace. As you look at the bottom, you can also see the steel and this steel, right? Put my hand in it. That's to reinforce the lift. And by the way, when you handle these plates, even if you handle them carefully, it's like very easy to find yourself with holes in your hand. Yeah, I didn't even feel the cuts. But when I went to leave and drive home, the steering wheel was like getting slippery. So I looked at my hands and they were obviously bleeding. So I cleaned them up. And then just before I got home, I stopped at the Hannaford's, and without thinking, I used some of that antiseptic on my hands. The stuff you squirt out of the squirt bottle. Just to make sure. I always kind of do that just to make sure I'm not picking up anything. And boy, did they sting, man. Put a hurting on me. So obviously I spent the morning, I always kind of call it screwing off when I'm, I should be working, but instead I'm driving my truck around in circles. I also got the stuff I need to do the oil change on the Kubota tractor on this thing and the Corolla. And speaking of the Corolla, I jacked it up. I made sure the front brakes were good, because that's something they look at here in New York State inspection. I also changed the windshield wipers, because the place I take it, Valvoline, they're only competent to change windshield wipers. So unless you go in there with a brand new set, they tell you the story that you need new windshield wipers, and then proceed to boink you for $20-$30 each. So the next thing you know, the inspection is, I don't know what's an inspection in New York, $21-$22. But if they boink you for $30 on wipers, right, that takes you up over 50. Then they try to sell you an oil change, which I never go for, because normally I try to change my own oil. And yeah, they just keep hitting you with more and more expenses. All right, folks, I actually have to get some work done here, so I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to shut this down for now. Obviously, I got to unload my winnings from the truck, and then go from there. That dog, that invisible fence, what I should do is I should put it on myself and power it up until I get a project done in the garage, and then unpower it. That way I can leave. I got more partially done projects in here than one could shake a stick at, like the Mojave there with the Honda motor is a partial project. This one here, remember I got it running, but it needs a jug, it smokes. That's a partial project. That one, I need to put the new carburetor on and get it running, but I haven't. This one, the valve for the gas tank leaks past a little bit, so it drips, and the carburetor seems to drip a little bit too. The float doesn't hold it back, so the right thing to do is rebuild the carburetor, and I probably will do that, but I also need to make the valve so that the valve turns off. So this one needs some attention. It's like everything I own needs some love and attention. Obviously the lift project, I need to keep going on it, and I'm about to. What I bought was 2 5-foot pieces that'll go from there, and it goes beyond that bolt, and that'll get, and they're going to go on the outside. I'm going to slot them so that this rail could sit into it. So I'm going to slot it for its length and run it on out. As a matter of fact, I'm just looking at what makes sense. Yeah, that probably makes the most sense. And once again, do that on both sides. I think that'll help the rocking from the bottom pieces, kind of twisting on the bolts. And then the top, I got some plate to go from here to that guy on the outside here. And between that and obviously the plate across the top, I think it'll make this corner tighter. Obviously if these bolts are tightened a little, that'll help too. But I think that'll tighten this corner up, and obviously all 4 corners. So that'll get rid of some of this rock and roll too. So anyway, that's the theory. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm going with. All right, guys. Live, love, and have a great time. Remember, keep your feet down, your heads up, and we'll catch up on the next episode of The Horde. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Bye now.